Myself, Dr.M.Saranya, Assistant Professor of BBA Department. Now we are going to see about export production. An export is a good that is produced domestically but sold to a consumer overseas. Due to resource constraints, economic policy and manufacturing strategies of each country, it sometimes makes more sense for countries to make goods to sell for revenue as opposed to retain for consumption. Shipping and banking procedure. Step 1. Receive an inquiry. The first step in the shipping document process is when someone inquires about buying your product. When a potential buyers express interest, they will often send a letter of inquiry outlining the terms of their interest along with a request for an informal or formal quote. Next step 2. Screen the potential buyer and country. After you receive an inquiry from the buyer, you first need to make sure you can do business with them. That means screening them against the various denied and restricted party list. You can manually screen their names, their company name and their address by checking each of the score of list published by US government. Or you can automate the process by using software like Shipping Solutions, which automatically checks against the latest version of all the list. If your buyer show up on any of the list, you cannot do business with them. If they do not show up, proceed with caution. The screening step also includes making sure you can ship your goods to the buyer's country. In some cases, you can ship only if you apply for an export license. It's best to complete the licensing process as early as you can to avoid causing delays. Next one is step 3. Provide a pro forma invoice. After screening your buyers and their country, you may need to provide the buyers with the pro forma invoice for the transaction. The pro forma invoice is the first impression you will make on your buyer, so make sure you do it right. It acts like a quote on looks like a commercial invoice, and it can be used to arrange financing for the purchase. If the pro forma invoice results in an order, the final commercial invoice will closely resemble the pro forma invoice. That means all of the costs included in the quotation are firm and may not vary beyond the terms outlined in the letter of credit. Certain countries require a pro forma invoice if they tightly control their currency, require an import permit, or protect local industry by placing import quotas on certain types of goods. Step 4. Finalize the sale. After you send the pro forma invoice, the buyer will either reject or accept your proposal. As part of the acceptance process, they will most likely want to negotiate the terms of the sale. This will result in a verbal or written contract. Not only should these negotiations include a discussion of the price to be paid, but they should also include a discussion of the payment terms you will be using, whether it's cash in advance, open account or something in between. The term of sale you will be using, which is typically one of the 11 Incoterms to 2020 rules. How yours good will be shipped. Who's responsible for shipping goods? Who's responsible hiring the freight forward or carrier? Who's responsible for filling the electronic export information through AES? How the transaction will be paid? If you are using the letter of credit, you need to make sure you have the necessary document to satisfy the requirement. What documents need to be provided by which party? As the exporter, you will need to meet whatever regulatories your buyers may have in their own countries, as well as the documentation and regulation requirement of the US. By taking care of all these important details before you ship any goods, you will save the lots of time and avoid potential headaches, especially if you have a special deadlines to meet. Once you have reached agreement on these points, on any other types your buyer wants to discuss, you will receive the order, which may appear in the form of the purchase order. Next one is prepare the goods and shipping documents. Once you have finalized your sale and prepared your goods for export, you need to prepare the proper shipping document. Your export shipment may require you include these 5 export forms. First one is commercial invoice. Second one is shipper's letters of instructions. Next one is billing of loading. Next one is certificate of origin. These are important documents. Thank you.